Gosh, it's on. Oh, is it live?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, everybody. Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Manager for freaking Auburn Live on 3 by Jordan. Today is Sunday, May the 11th. Zach, I did say let's go, I think, but I didn't mean like, let's go live. No, I'm sorry. We are live, absolutely. And we're going to have an interesting show. We're going to see what people want to talk about right now. It's kind of a dead period, but it's about to pick up, especially if you're a recruiting fan. Next weekend, Auburn's going to bring in at least 10 confirmed official visitors, big dogs. We're going to be covering that all this week at Auburn Live on 3. And then every weekend thereafter, there's going to be big recruiting weekends. They're just going to take you right into June and then into the July commitment season. So a lot of stuff is about to pick up when it comes to Auburn recruiting. Auburn currently has the number 13 class in the country and I think 7 commitments. But we're going to take your calls. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, answer some questions, address your comments. Here to do it as we always are when we're together 100% of the time. Sir Alan Head, how about you, big dog?
I'm here, man. It's been it has been a week. Mother's Day was great today, and I hope everybody else that's out there celebrating enjoyed their Mother's Day as well. And to any mothers that are listening tonight, happy Mother's Day to you.
Absolutely. Speaking of mothers, Miss Jessica Andrews. For any looking for a house, want to buy a house, sell your house, maybe upgrade, maybe looking for an investment property, put out for rent. Look no further for the help you need. Miss Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group. Give her a call. I'm sorry, man, I am just all off tonight. You know what it is, Alan? It's our matching shirts.
I know, right?
And Cole not being here. Cole's on a sabbatical. Not really. He's on vacation.
A 4-day sabbatical is about the equivalent of a vacation for you guys right now, man.
Okay. Let's start over. Hey, how about you, everybody? All right. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group. 334-704-4442. A lot of 4s in that number, Alan, but she's a freaking 5-star realtor.
I like it.
She's a freaking 5-star realtor, folks, made by a client. You really are a 5-star realtor. She really is, man. She works absolutely double overtime for you. Make sure you know all that's going on, the ins and outs of the game, and we'll get your property sold or find you what you're looking for. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. Oh, man, I got to catch my breath, dude. That was a rough opening.
Yeah, you know what? We don't always have our A game, but we're here, right? Every now and again, you got to have a Jordan flu game podcast experience, right? And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's getting ready to lace him up against Utah.
Yeah.
Go out there and hit that killer J.
Alan, what's going on in the wide world of Auburn sports today? I want to wish happy birthday to Cameron Jarrell Newton.
Yes, that's a huge moment. When you think about singular seasons for an Auburn player, I can't think of one that's better than what Cam Newton put together in that 2010 season. I mean, it just, from start to finish, was the most complete and dominant season I have ever seen an Auburn athlete put together, period. And that's any sport.
It's nice that it ended with a national championship.
It is. It is.
That team was you go back and you watch that team, 2010 team. It was a good team. I mean, you had a generational talent at quarterback, no doubt about it.
Yes.
But you had some dudes on there too.
You did. I mean, you had two generations. You had two dominant players, right? Because Nick Fairley had one of the most dominant defensive seasons for an interior pass rusher in Auburn history, has to be. But having those two, and then like you talked about, you wrapped a lot of senior leadership around that team. Guys like Darvin Adams, Cody Burns. You got some key contributions from Mike Dyer when you had to have it. Yeah. I mean, it was a surprise for me to see him go over 1,000 yards in his freshman year. And then you think about the leadership spread across the offensive line, Ryan Pugh, Lee Ziemba. Who else was on that squad? You had –
was it Josh Bynes?
Josh Bynes was your starting Mike linebacker on that team. You had
T-Sack, Cody Burns. You had Philip Lessenkirchen. You had
Hot Boy, Antonio. Yeah, Hot Boy Carter, Mike Goggins.
I'm trying to think. Who was the center? Was that
Ryan Pugh?
Pugh? Lee Zimba.
Yes, Lee Zimba. I mean, just a
Mike
lot
Berry?
of guys. Mike Berry. Look, and say what you want. You talked about it the other week. I hate the way things ended for Mike McNeil at Auburn. But if you go back and watch that national championship game and how he comes down in the box, he is absolutely just murdering people. I mean, taking scalps as he comes down and fills the lane against what was a really, really talented backfield. I think LaMichael James was the running back on that Oregon team. Chip Kelly was doing some very unique things in the run game, and he came in and just absolutely filled a lane in a way that you hadn't seen all season. I mean, just took guys on in the alley, took on tight ends, didn't matter, and was still just lighting guys up. So that was a huge, huge game for him. And I'm trying to think who else you had on that squad. Was it Demond Washington? Was he also on that team?
Oh, Demon.
Yeah, it was a Demon.
No, it's Demond, but
It was, okay, gotcha. And I'm trying to think of who the other corner was.
Was it a Davis? It wasn't Javaris, was it?
No, it wasn't Javaris.
I mean, Aaron Savage, maybe.
So Savage played safety that year, and
Zach Etheridge.
Yep, Zach Etheridge was your other safety beside McNeil, because Zach was the free.
Was Josh Bynes on that team?
Yes, Josh Bynes was the captain and the starting middle linebacker.
Yep. Okay. What about Mincy?
Mincy was on that team. I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking at the roster, but I mean, was he starting? He was a freshman. He probably wasn't starting. That team was old.
Yeah, Mincy got more playing time.
Demond Washington was a senior cornerback.
Yes.
Senior Josh Bynes, Cody Burns, Wes Byram.
Nico Thorpe, was he the other corner on that team?
Nico Thorpe. Also known as, what was his name when he signed? Nico Lipscomb.
Remember That's right. That's right. Antonio McCaleb was on that squad.
Craig Stevens.
Underrated Craig Stevens. Talking about being solid in the middle. Josh Bynes, Craig Stevens don't get enough love for the dirty work that they did that season. As far
Bart Edens, was he hurt?
Bart was hurt. Bart really never got its opportunity to play the way Brett did. He came in very heralded and just unfortunately never got.
We talked about the offensive line. Baron Isom.
Yes. Huge. Mike Berry, right?
Yes. Yeah, Pugh, Berry, and Isom. Lee Zimba. Who was your right tackle? Lee Zimba.
Oh, it was the JUCO kid. The one that ended up getting drafted. I'm trying to think of it. He was a converted tight end.
Let's see, what number would he have been? Brandon Mosley.
Yes. No, he's about as smart as a box of rocks, but
he got more rings than we do, though, don't he?
Ain't no doubt. And an NFL paycheck on top.
Hell yeah. Gosh, that was a good team.
And then, of course, we didn't talk about I did it for you, Charlie.
Oh, bull.
Yes, man. Toro.
Oh, bull.
One of my favorite interviews that El Toro ever did. I mean, it was a complete slip. Like, he was in workout mode, and they were asking him, like, El Toro, what have you been doing this offseason? He said, man, I've been working my balls off. Like, didn't even think about it, just let it fly, man.
There you go.
You pulling it up?
Can you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, God. You can hear that. I could hear it, but I couldn't. I wonder if I could share it.
I bet you can.
Y'all ready?
Oh, there we go. Yes.
You can't fight. That's why you thank all my coaches, all my teammates. I like to thank my brother Charlie. I love you, Charlie. We did it, Mama. We did it.
I love El Toro Freeman. I love El Toro Freeman, dude.
One of my top 5 guys all time.
Yes.
All time. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're loud and clear.
All right.
Uh-oh. Got some technical difficulties on my end. You go ahead and carry the show for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Can y'all really hear me? Because I can't hear myself. I can't hear my... Hey, man. Hey, man.
Yep. You're good.
You can? Oh, man. I can't hear myself. Boy, this is a.
I'm back. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to type in the chat that we can hear you, buddy.
Yes. Well, we can hear you.
Ooh. Okay. I mean, if you can hear me, that's all that matters. Let me see if I can hear you.
Check one.
Okay, cool. Let's see if we can hear Kevin.
Okay. How about that?
Kevin, you're live, man.
Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama.
How about you, big dog? Talk to us, Kevin.
And I think Cam Coleman will have 30 touchdowns.
You think so?
Yeah.
Who's going to be throwing it to him, Kevin?
Jackson Arnold.
Oh!
Calling his shot. I hear you.
Cam Coleman got 30.
And Terry have 28.
Who's that?
Perry.
Eric Terry.
Oh, Eric Singletary. I think that's probably a pretty good call. That's going to be a really good duo together. It'll be interesting to see how they utilize all those pieces, Kevin.
And Perry Thompson, too.
I would love to see Perry Thompson be able to play up to his talent ceiling this year. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know that he quite got there in spring, but it felt like it was starting to move in the right direction by the time you got towards the end of spring for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Kevin?
Yeah.
I was just checking. I think I can hear myself again. Kevin, what you looking forward to most, buddy?
Our softball team is going to Tallahassee.
They are. They are. They're the number 2 seed in the Tallahassee Regional. I thought that was a really good first step for this team, especially given some of the losses that they had off of last year's squad. I'm trying to think of I think it's Bree Ellis, who's one of the top hitters in all of college softball right now, transferred to Arkansas. You had another catcher, Jessie Blaine, that transferred out to another program, and she's batting over 350. But to sustain those 2 losses, plus everything else from a pitching standpoint, and for them to be able to recover and make an NCAA regional, I thought that was a really good first step, and we'll see what this coaching staff does from here.
How about our baseball team?
How is the baseball team doing?
They're cooking, man. They just swept South Carolina this past weekend. They're up to 16-11 in conference play.
How about Ike Irish?
Ike Irish is hitting the ball at an extremely high clip. And you kind of expected that, but they got contributions from everybody up and down the lineup. I believe they scored over 50 runs this past series against South Carolina, put up a 25 spot in the first game by itself.
24-2.
24-2, excuse me.
3 touchdowns on a field goal.
Yes. You don't see that very often. But this team's hitting its stride right now. What you hope is that they continue to parlay this into postseason play, because it doesn't mean a whole lot if you play this way in conference play and then you get into the postseason and you drop one or drop your regional. So I would love to see it carry over, but they are definitely hitting their stride right now, and we'll just see if the pitching can hold up. That's my big concern. Batting, the hitting has been there on and off all season. They're really hitting it right now or seeing it right now. But can the pitching carry over to the postseason? Because that's exactly what you're going to have to be able to get into a super regional and potentially a College World Series.
What's the status of Travis Burgess?
Travis Burgess?
Yeah.
Travis Burgess, he will be in. So Auburn's going to bring in Landon Duckworth this weekend. They're one of 2 quarterbacks we're really watching hard. Is Landon Duckworth right now? I mean, this can change easily, but right now the two quarterbacks we're watching right now in Auburn's 2026 class, Landon Duckworth, who's coming in for an official visit this weekend, and then Travis Burgess. I think he's coming in June the 13th. Let me make sure on that.
I think it's May 30th. I think he's actually.
You're right.
Yeah,
2 weeks later. So Auburn's top 2 quarterbacks that we think of that they had the most likelihood of landing
Yes.
are going to be visiting in the next 2.5 weeks. Landon Duckworth this weekend, Travis Burgess 2 weeks later. They're both very good.
Yeah. And the other person that we've talked about on this show, Jaden O'Neal, who visited in the spring, I would put Auburn probably like 4th place for him right now, maybe 3rd at best. It seems like Florida State's kind of in the pole position to flip him if somebody's going to be able to. But I don't think that's a done deal because Bo Bentley's trying to decide right now between LSU and Oklahoma. And I seriously doubt Oklahoma's going to let Jaden O'Neal flip if they don't think they can get Bo Bentley. So there's a lot to play out there, but I'm with you. Travis Burgess, Duck, those are the two right now that make the most sense, that are the most logical to land in this class. My money's still on Travis Burgess, and I think Duck's visit is going to be interesting because what the comments are coming out of that is going to kind of drive what my thought process is going to be as it pertains to Travis.
Where goes high school at?
Jackson. Goes to Jackson High School down your way.
Will he be a senior this coming season?
He will.
He will.
He will, Kevin.
Hey, Jeffrey Lee.
Hey, Kevin from Wilmer.
Hey, where I graduated from, we will have 15 seniors coming back this coming fall.
Fairview?
Yeah, we should win the state.
Yeah.
No.
Do you going to any of the games?
Yeah, I went 5 games last year.
How far is the drive is that for you?
4 hours. If I was in Mobile, 3 hours, or no, 1 hour if I'm at my sister's house.
Okay. You got some kin folks that live nearby.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough.
Talk to you later, War Eagle guys.
All right, War Eagle, Kevin. Appreciate you calling in, buddy.
I believe this is Carter. Carter. Oh, hang on. Carter, you're live, man.
Gentlemen, how are you?
How about you, Carter?
How you doing, Carter?
Man, I'm doing dead gum good. I can tell you this. I just drove by Old College Park, Georgia. Speaking of Mr. Cameron Jarrell, pulling back in from Columbus.
You know who else from College Park? Sean Kitchens.
Yeah.
That's
Speaking of unfortunate.
He was on that 2010 team.
There was a safety over there too. That
He was
same
part
class.
of that Dakota Mosley group, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, he was. Unfortunately, you had 2 kids get caught up. Yeah, because you had Antonio Williams and Sean Kitchens out of that same class that got caught up in that mess, and Dakota Mosley, and then Mike McNeil was the 4th one.
Well, on the bigger and better things, boys. I wanted to check in. I wanted to see if y'all got an update on one Mr. Nolan Wilson.
Ooh.
I think that we have in the last few months have since maybe moved on a tad bit from Bryce Perry Wright, and I really do like him still. But
he's coming in for an official visit this weekend, Big Dog.
That we have turned up the heat with Nolan Wilson.
Bryce Perry Wright's coming in for an official visit this weekend. Curious to see what goes on with that. Nolan Wilson, I just did an update on him. Let me pull it up. Oh, yeah, 3 Auburn coaches went and saw him. DJ Durkin, Vontrell King-Williams, Rock Bellantoni all made the trip, I think, maybe a week or 2 ago, 2 weeks ago, to see Nolan Wilson. Nolan Wilson is – what's that?
Is he at Picayune?
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Same place as Jamonte Waller went, and they are still they stay in contact. Matter of fact, I just pulled up the story. He says, we talk all the time. He tells me how Auburn is, how they're going to treat you one way, how they're not going to treat you one way during the recruitment process, treat you differently when you get there. So Auburn's a serious contender for him. I really do like Auburn, he said. So he's got an official visit for June the 6th. And we'll see how that – he's also going to visit Alabama, Ole Miss, USC. and maybe Florida and Miami.
Carter, what I would tell you on Nolan Wilson. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. My bad.
I was going to say, what I would tell you on Nolan Wilson, why maybe his star is on the rise with Auburn a little bit, is because he presents some interesting versatility for you. He can give you snaps at the buck, and he can also give you snaps at the 5-tech. And anytime you can bring that level of portability to a defense, especially one that tries to be malleable in the way that DJ Durkin does, I think it brings an interesting component when you can put one person at two different slots. And it makes you all that much more intriguing, and it definitely would cause him to go up my board if I were on that coaching staff. And I do believe they see a lot of potential with him. I honestly don't know on the first part of your question where Auburn stands with Bryce Perry, right? I tend to believe Clemson's going to be really hard to beat on that one. And maybe that's why people might think that Auburn has pulled off on that. I don't think they've pulled off. I think they just maybe are cultivating other options at that position because they may not be in pole position right now.
Yeah, and as much as I really do like Bryce Perry, right, and his film, I think that some good could be a brewing with Nolan Wilson. And you know what, I think, to me, if I had to pick my top two most wanted on the D line, recruit wise, give me Vodney and give me Nolan Wilson as of right now.
Okay.
I'd have to throw Ernest Rankins in there.
Yes.
I mean, there's some dogs. They've got some dudes, man. They're recruiting some dudes. Ernest Rankins is supposed to be in for this weekend for an official visit. See if that happens. Let me just pull up. I told y'all about this weekend coming up. It's going to be a big weekend for Auburn as far as official visits go. And we've talked about, Alan, then we had 14, 16 guys confirmed for these weekends, and we were like, man, that's just too many. We're not going to be surprised when they narrow this down. And they have. Right now, I've got it at 11 for this weekend. However, let me see. I've already taken off. Who did I take off?
I believe you took off the cornerback from Maryland that was scheduled to come in.
Kyrie Adam.
Yep.
Yeah. There was somebody else I took off. Jaraylen McCoy. I took off Jaraylen McCoy. He's rescheduled. He's not coming in this weekend. He's going to come in at a later date.
Yes.
All these other guys, as far as I know, and I have checked in the past 48 hours, all these cats are coming in. Derek Cooper and Jay Lamar, two of the top running backs on the board. Landon Duckworth, we talked about him. Trenton Henderson's coming in. Bryce Perry Wright, C.J. Hester, Vodney, Ernest Rankins, Brody Jennings, some guys that we've heard about but really haven't seen on campus. So some of these guys coming into campus are going to be big. Dalton Toothman and Dominic Harris both are visiting. And I wrote on Saturday that I expect 5-star edge, the number 3 edge in the country, the number 1 overall player in the state, Anthony Tank Jones. I expect him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him added to this weekend's list. So a big weekend, 11 and 12 would be Tank. And I'm not sure. I don't think anybody. I think everybody else is coming. So I'm looking at around a dozen this weekend.
That is a massive weekend, man. When you think about Hugh Freeze trying to meet independently with each one of these kids and their families, whew, I would not want to be the one in charge of his itinerary / schedule this weekend. That's for sure. But I tell you what, you mentioned that you really like Vodney Cleveland, Carter. If you're into DL tape and you want to watch a 1-tech /0 that I actually like better than Vodney, pop on Corey Wells. Take a peek.
Is he the one from Kettle, Mississippi?
You got it. And I think Auburn may get him on for an OV. It's not been stated just yet, but that's one I'm keeping my eyes on. That I think that that VKW might be turning the screws on a little bit.
Hey, well, I like the sound of that. And the only other, I have another question pertaining more so to football. Looking this season, who do you think on the defensive side has the best chance to make the biggest impact outside of the obvious, Keldrick Falk? I really think Ron Crawford has a chance to blow it up if he blossoms like we think he should.
I mean, that's got to be the guy, right? Because you're looking at, from that buck stand-up edge position, who else is it going to be? I mean, I know you brought in the transfers from Sam Houston State, who can give you some quality reps.
Chris
there.
Murray.
Chris Murray. You've also got Joe Phillips from Booker T that's playing that spot.
I think it's really I think DeMarcus Riddick. I think he's just
DeMarcus, and you got to have it because there was a conversation on the board, and I agree with this. When you think about the experience in that linebacker room, there is not a whole lot. I mean, you're leaning on the fact that he's going to DeMarcus Riddick's going to take a massive step forward, because if he doesn't, then what do you have at that position? I mean, I guess you've got Xavier Atkins, who by all accounts had a solid spring, but he's playing at about 200 pounds right now. You really need him to get at 215 plus to give you some snaps inside the box at that weak side linebacker position, and not just playing a specialty role of like a dime or something like that. So I don't know, man. I mean, it gets scary if some of these guys don't come along, but DJ Durkin is a really good coach. And if he felt like he needed more in that room, you would think they would have gone to the transfer portal and landed it. He chose not to. He's leaning into what he's got. And they also have a really, really talented freshman from South Florida that I think is going to be turning heads at some point. I mean, you talk about a true inside linebacker. He's it, man. I mean, he's a guy that's going to absolutely tattoo you.
Oh, man, Elijah.
Yes, Elijah Melendez. The game just needs to slow down for him some, I think. And once it does, he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to contribute for you.
I wonder if you put him on the same track you put DeMarcus Riddick last year.
Yes.
Because DeMarcus Riddick, the experience he got last year is so valuable. That's why I'm expecting big things from him. I really am. I think it's this year too. I think he's going to be a freaking stud.
Yeah, I think with Elijah, you got to give him a package. You got to get him on the field and get him line reps, because, I mean, who else do you have playing inside?
DJ Barber.
I mean, I haven't heard anything out of DJ. I'm
Me
going to
neither.
be honest with you.
I haven't either.
And you brought in the kid from Maryland. It's thin, man.
Linebackers is a concern on paper, right?
Yeah.
On paper.
I mean, there's little doubt that it's a concern.
I think Malik Blockton's going to be very good again. I think he's going to be even better than he was a year ago. Does he have the talent to be a all-conference, first team all-SEC? Can he be the best in the conference at what he does in year 3? I'm not putting that on him now, but I mean, I'm asking you because I don't know. Does he have the talent? Do you think he is just a solid multi-starter guy who's going to give you, Josh Thompson, TJ Jackson, just a run stop?
You're talking about Malik?
Yeah. Not a game changer. I mean, is he a game changer? Does he have that in him?
That's what's hard for me to tell, because I didn't.
Because he's the most talented, right? That Auburn has inside.
Malik Blockton? Right now, I think some of those young kids are the most talented.
Jordan Crawford.
Yes. Malik Autry.
Antonio.
Right.
Come on. Malik Autry, absolutely.
Yeah. But Crawford and Autry are the two, to me, that have the most potential moving forward. Blockton is so much like his brother. And I would have never believed that his brother was going to be the impact player that he was. But by his senior year, you didn't want another player on the field other than him. I mean, he just gave you everything he had. He used every trick he had in the book. I mean, 7+ sacks. I believe he had upwards of 40 tackles. I mean, just was an absolute man in there. And realistically, he got forced inside and was playing undersized up until about his senior year. So do I think Malik has it in him? Yes. Would I expect that this year? No. Okay. I think it's going to be something he's going to have to grow and develop into.
Okay. So temper the expectations there on him.
I would temper the expectations. I think he's your starter. I think he's going to hold the fort on that. Do I expect him to be all SEC this year? I don't. Do I think he can grow into that? I do.
Okay.
I do. And back on the linebacker front, again, Robert Woodyard. I mean, this is a
Yeah.
massive year for him. If it's ever going to happen for Rob, it's right now. Otherwise, I mean, it's, you're recruiting over that position if it's not going to happen right now.
Good stuff, Bammer Lover. Keep us going there, Zach.
6571. You're live. Where are you calling from? Who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Mike from Birmingham, Alabama.
What's happening, Mike? What part of Birmingham you calling from? I missed it. What'd you say, Mike?
I'm like the Woodline area.
Okay. Carlos Dansby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Chris Davis.
Yes, I just wanted to call in today. I had two questions. One was the recruiting, and one was the recruiting question was Tristan Keys and Sadarian Moore. I believe they have to get one of those out of two in this recruiting class. And the football question is, on the offensive line, do you think Dylan Wade is locked in at left guard, or do you think some of the younger talent is pushing for a starting spot this fall?
Good question.
Good stuff, Mike. I appreciate you calling in, big dog. Alan, how about you taking that football question? I think he was asking Sadarian Morgan, Tristan Keys, do you think one of them ends up in Auburn's class? I think that's what he was getting to.
That's what it sounded like to me, and I would say no on both of those right now. I would lean with, Keys could land in a multitude of different spots.
Sure.
Just because he's committed to LSU right now doesn't mean that's where
he's the Caleb Cunningham of 2026, right?
Very much so. Very much so. He could end up at Alabama, Tennessee, Auburn, Ole Miss, several spots. I don't think he's locked in. Sadarian Morgan, I don't project him to Auburn now. I do think Auburn's going to stay on that one, and we'll see kind of on signing day where he goes.
Absolutely.
But with his commitment forthcoming in July, Cole said it on the show. I think Jeffrey and I both agree Alabama is where he's going to commit to, and then we'll see if Auburn can make some hay as you move towards signing day. But Jace Matthews, I think we all like our positioning better on that one as far as 5-star wide receivers.
True.
On the football question, yes, Dylan Wade is locked into left guard. I do think he needs to continue to develop as a guard. You're talking about a guy throughout his career that has predominantly played tackle, even though his body screams guard. He's had enough athleticism to play out on the edge. He's still learning, I think, to play with leverage on the inside and not letting defensive tackles get their hands into his chest a little bit. He's going to have to extend his arms some more, play with a more sturdy base. But he's a guy that's got a lot of potential. And if it all comes together for him, I think he is a guy that can play at the next level on the inside. But he's going to have to continue to mature and grow at that position. It's different, right? I mean, it is significantly different when you're handling edge rushers to when you're handling 310-pound defensive tackles that are coming off the ball at you. It's just it's a different game on the inside, and you got to be a man to play there. As far as guys that could be pushing him, I don't know. Maybe the kid from California.
I think who you have at Mason Murphy at right tackle?
Yeah, Mason Murphy's at right tackle. I mean, maybe DeAndre Carter could push you inside. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that would give me any kind of thought that he's going to push for an interior position. Seth Wilford has also played some guard. I've heard some decent reviews on him, and so maybe he's another guy that could give you some snaps there. You took some really talented players in this freshman year's class, but I don't know. I mean, they seem to like Ty Buster on the outside, and he's the only one on campus right now that's got any snaps in spring, so you would think it would be very difficult for a true freshman that hasn't taken any snaps yet or got into the playbook at this point with spring reps to come in and take a spot from him. So I don't anticipate that being the case, but if there is a case to be made, it's probably, the two that I just mentioned that could push him at that position, and we'll see where it goes. The interesting piece to me is, do they move too tall inside? That may be the position.
That's who I was thinking of.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, do they try him at guard to get their best 5 on the field? And I
Because if
don't know.
you've got Mason Murphy at right tackle, where does that leave Tutal?
It doesn't leave him anywhere, right?
Right.
And I do believe at this point that Mason Murphy is your right tackle. I know there are people out there that believe that Tutal is going to get it done when it's all said and done. But as of right now, most of what I've heard is Mason Murphy has solidified that spot at the right tackle position. Now, this is spring. There's still a whole fall camp, and that doesn't mean that Tutal can't get into the mix. But I think where it gets interesting is when they try him at guard, is he a natural there? And does it get their best 5 on the field? And if not, he gives you one hell of a rotational player because he is somebody that can give you snaps at both tackle spots and both guard spots. So if you get injuries, which we both know they're going to have during the middle of the season, I mean, an SEC year is physical, dude. You need to rotate bodies in there. You're going to have injuries. He's a valuable piece to have.
It's a good problem. And as I was told yesterday, programs need good problems.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Programs need good problems. I thought that was one of the smartest things I've ever heard. I was talking to somebody about, all these, edges. It's like, man, it's a good problem. Programs need good problems. Good stuff, Mike.
No introduction needed here. 5960. You're live. $5960.
Kid
Live.
Country.
What's going on, fella?
What's up, Edward? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, nothing much, man. Nothing much. I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
How's the restaurant, brother?
Let's start. Oh man, business is going good. Differently, I might need to get on the phone with that 5-star relative, boy. If I can get me a place in Auburn, this football season, I come down there and be a millionaire in 3-4 months, man.
You know her number now.
I come down there with them burgers, boy, about 3-4 months of football season, man. Both of us.
I'm telling you, Edward, that is the racket to get in. If you can get down there for game day, man, you would definitely make some money.
Man, that's all I need. About one season on the plains. I can quit cooking. But first, I'd like to say, man, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We got a lot of, might not seem like it, but we got a lot of female listeners on this show.
Thanks to Alan.
But they be listening. So, War Eagle to all the Auburn Nation, all the Auburn ladies. Happy Mother's Day. And I was calling, man. First, I want to go back to something you just asked about blocking. Blocking the Selma kid, man. It's hard to outwork these kids from Selma. I ain't gonna lie. So,
that's true.
He's at Auburn, and he's I say 3-4 year player. I think he could be one of the best in the conference at his position. I really do, because
year 3, year 4. I mean, are your expectations that way?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. With him, I mean, he played a hell of a ball as a true freshman.
Sure. I think he was a freshman All-American, wasn't he?
Just
freshman SEC for sure.
Okay. You one of those guys, you just not gonna outwork it. So anytime you got the talent and you got the work ethic to go with it, I mean, sky's the limit to him, and he understands he got some young guy that's gonna be chipping on his heel right off the bat. So I mean, he got to play.
That's true.
I go
he
back.
Was a mid-season freshman All-American.
I've been saying. What you saying, Jay?
He was a mid-season freshman All-American, whatever the hell that means. I guess through the first half of the season, he was All-American.
He played pretty good ball.
Oh, he was very good. Very good.
And
for a true freshman,
thing to do, offensive lineman or defensive lineman in the SEC as a true freshman.
That's a man's world. You're right.
You asking a lot from those kids. But I go back to something I've been saying, and I know some people might seem like I'm being hard on Hugh Freeze. I'm really not. Because if you listen to the interview, what he did with Mike G, Hugh said everything I've been saying on the call-in show. He said it out of his own mouth. He said what he did on offense last year, it wasn't good enough. He said he feel like they should have been a borderline playoff team. He said that. He said it was 3-4 games that they gave away that shouldn't have happened. I hate to start Boogie, but I seen something in Hugh that I hadn't seen since he been at Auburn. I see a confidence in him. You listen to that interview. Hugh Freeze Auburn told you we don't want some ads this year. I believe in his mind. He believed it. I believe he finally got the team to go play with the people that he got to play with in this league, as far as offensively. I think he'd seen enough out of Jackson Arnold to believe that he can get the job done. I think some kind of way when Ashton Daniels' name come up,
Yeah.
there's a look about him in his eyes. I think it's something that Hugh got. I don't think the guy just coming in just to sit on the bench. I know we don't like it, but you listen to Hugh, and every time his name come up, boy, the kid can run. Well, he really can run.
Yeah.
I look for Hugh to find a way to get him on the field in some type of package. We don't like that, but I think Hugh saying the hell with it. I'm going to exhaust all my bullets that I got. I'm going to go out swinging this year. So I don't think the guys that are coming in to be a backup. I think they're going to find ways to utilize them in certain situations, and I'm all for that. It's just he got a confidence about himself, and that says a lot, because for the last 2 years, you didn't see that from him, and he's not making no excuses this year. He's not talking about no talent gap this year. I got a team. I feel like, all he's saying, I thought it would take 3 years, but I feel like where we at right now, I got a team that I can compete against anybody. And he does. So as an Auburn fan, it's hard for me not to be excited because I'm sitting here looking like, wow, man, this man really got, we don't even talk about the running back no more. We ain't talk about Austin and Cobb and them guys. We have been focused on receivers. But he's still gonna have some back that he can turn around and hand the ball off to. And just to be fair, it wasn't all on him. It was another step that the defense got to take. You go back and look at it, Missouri. Defense should have got off the field. They let him roll down the field 99 yards. So it wasn't all the way on the offense. You had some special team issues. You get your kicker back this year. You got some more young kickers in.
Special teams was horrendous. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw somewhere Auburn was dead ass last.
You'll be even more explosive
in 50-plus yard passes.
In the punt return game. I think you're going to be way more explosive in those areas as well. So I'm not here to say, we're going to win 10, 11 games. That's not what I'm saying. But I will say I look forward to having a better football season.
Yes,
football team.
I'm not saying you Alabama, Georgia yet, but you can take the place of maybe what LSU have been in the last few years. You can take the place of where Ole Miss have been. You can kind of be that second-tier team that's working your way to the top. I mean, you really realize, like, damn, last year was my 7-win team. I think that he really gonna try to make a run at this thing, guys. And I think he got the team to do it. It might be some games that I look forward to go like this. It's gonna be a game that we're gonna lose and we're gonna scratch our head. Like, damn, we shouldn't have lost that game. But I totally expect for him to win some game this year that ain't nobody thinking that he gonna win. I believe that's kind of how it's gonna go. It's gonna kind of balance itself out to where, you probably sitting around the 8-win team, 8-win regular season. But one of those wins gonna be against one of the top teams. One of those losses might be to a team that everybody felt like we should beat. I feel like that's kind of how it's gonna go. You go to the bowl game and you get your 9th win. I feel like that's more of where we should be at. And hey, I like a man that come out and take accountability. Ain't nothing wrong with pointing the finger at a guy that makes $6.5 million, $7 million. Ain't nothing wrong with. Hey, he got to be accountable. Because guess what? In my line of business, if things ain't right when you come in and get your food, you got all the right in the world to point your fingers at me because my name is on it. And I think he has taken accountability. I think he has built the team the way that he want to build. And I think he's going to win some football games. And I just want to hear y'all guys' opinion. And I know Cole Pinkston, wherever he at, I know he's sitting back chopping at the bits on this one because I know he kind of feels the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all guys have good
Appreciate
night.
you calling in, Edward.
Y'all doing a great job.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Edward definitely tapped into the vein of what Cole's been wanting to talk about for sure. There's nobody that wants to talk football more than Cole as far as this season is concerned, because I do believe that Edward is right in the fact that Hugh has much more confidence about this year's team and roster than he has had in previous years past. Now, where does that get us? I think expectation has shifted to where minimum expectation should be 7-5. And I know there are people right now that are listening to this that are bristling hearing that, right? But I do think that's minimum expectation. Like 6-6, 5-7 is unacceptable at this point to me, given everything that you've added.
Anything under 7 is unacceptable.
Yes. Anything under 7 is unacceptable.
Correct.
Where did we land beyond that point? I don't know. Because let's play the game real quick. Zach, how many do we have on the line right now?
One more.
One more. All right. Let's quick exercise here. Let's go win, loss, or toss. Okay, for toss up. First game's Baylor.
Toss.
Toss. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Did you say toss, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. Ball State.
Win.
South Alabama.
Win.
At Oklahoma.
Toss up. Maybe a loss.
What were my 3 options?
Win, loss, or toss?
I'm going to loss that one.
Okay. Texas A&M.
Jackson Arnold going back to Oklahoma. A&M, loss.
Okay. Georgia.
Loss.
Okay. So that gets you, at best, with the way we're playing this, 3-3 going into what is probably the more platable stretch of games for Auburn.
Second half.
Second half. So Missouri.
Win.
Okay.
At home, right?
Yes, at home. At Arkansas.
Win.
Okay. Kentucky at home.
Win.
Vanderbilt on the road.
I don't give a shit. They better win.
Yeah, should be a win.
I don't care if you play them, and I don't care.
6. Okay. Mercer.
Winner.
All right, that's your 7th win right there. And then Alabama.
Toss.
Toss up.
Okay. So that's 7 wins, 2 toss-ups, and 3 losses.
Win one of those tosses, you get to 8-4.
Yes. Which I think is the bucket that we think this team can live in, right? And that it's a sign of true upward trajectory. You get a victory against somebody you probably shouldn't beat. So,
hey, listen, Baylor and Bama, both winnable games. I mean, they are.
I agree. I hate the placement of the Baylor game just because
I hear you.
they do have, if you're looking at talent throughout the course of the roster, I think Auburn is a more talented roster than Baylor. But opening game, first game for Jackson Arnold, Dave Aranda's on the opposite sideline. We've seen what kind of confusion he can create with simulated pressure. You also have Sawyer Robertson, who's the quarterback for Baylor, one of the top returning arms in the country, in their house on a primetime Friday night. That's a difficult game. Doesn't matter if you're the more talented team or not. That is a difficult game to walk into first game. Now, the advantage Auburn has is that They don't know what Jackson Arnold's going to look like in this offense. These two teams have never played each other. They're not going to be overly familiar with the athletes on either side. So you do have some advantages working in your favor as well, but it's not going to be easy. That's for sure. You can't look at this game and, it's Baylor, screw it. We're going to win that one. You know what I mean? Like, if you're doing that, then you're doing nothing more than looking at the logo on Auburn's helmet and thinking Auburn is a better brand than Baylor. That's what you're doing. I'm with you on Oklahoma and A&M. At Oklahoma, at Jackson Arnold going back to Norman, Oklahoma versus John Mateer, there's going to be all kinds of hype going into that game. Can he play within himself? And that's what you don't know right now. You don't know enough about Jackson Arnold to say he's going to be able to play within himself and go into that game and operate and not be overly emotional. And I get why he would be. You're talking about a kid that walked out of that program. I mean, he was heralded as the #1 player in the country by certain services over Arch Manning. Okay? 5-star plus. And it didn't work out for him there. And so how much is he wanting to go back in there and prove himself? You just don't know. And then A&M, they have a roster that can compete with anybody in the country given the weekend. But what has A&M been, if anything, but inconsistent? And so you just don't know what A&M is going to show up.
See, here's the deal. On those 3 losses, Oklahoma, A&M, and even Georgia, I could see Auburn winning one of those and then also dropping like a Missouri or a Kentucky or an Arkansas.
Sure.
I still think it balances out in the end that you're looking at 7-3 with 2 toss-ups. I think that's the best you can. I think that's the most reasonable expectations for Auburn this year is 7-3 and 2 toss-ups. That could go either way. You could be 7-5. You could be 8-4. You could be 9-3.
Yes, because you could win both those tosses, right?
Sure, absolutely. I think that's anywhere from 7 to 9. I think that's where the wheelhouse is right now. Anything less than that is absolute disappointment and unacceptable.
No, I mean, Jeffrey, you think about the talent they've been able to accrue. And we got to get to our next caller, but you think about what they've been able to accrue. And if they don't get it done this year, I mean, I think there are real conversations about, is it ever going to happen?
I'm still giving him 4. But after that, dude, it's like there's too much talent on this roster. Now, again, it's young talent. It's still young. It's still young. That first class was it was a top 15, top 20. You had Keldrick Falk, you had Connor Lew. Yes, those cats, most of them will be gone after this year.
I think Keldrick definitely will be. You probably hold on to Connor Lew. I think he's going to be a 4-year guy.
But that 2024 class, when they're juniors next year in 27, 26, Cam Coleman and those guys, you're in the playoffs or it's not going to happen. There's no excuses.
I mean, I'm with you. And
year in and year out. That's the first year I expect Auburn to be a playoff contender every year. That's where the expectations at Auburn should be. In the playoffs every year. And anything less than the playoffs is a freaking disappointment. And I'm not there this year, but I'm going to be there next year. I'm going to be there the next year and the next year and the next year.
Sure.
But I'm not there this year.
Right. I don't know that you have to be in the playoff every year, right? But I think you need to be in the talk, in the conversation. Like it needs to be November and Auburn's being mentioned, right? So, because I think there are going to be years at Auburn where you're going to go 8-4. That's just going to happen.
That's
and
historical,
8-4 is not going to make the playoff. But I think the consistency can be there that you're in that conversation more oftentimes than not. But, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to fire Hugh Freeze. That's not what I'm doing here. But for me, and I hear you on having a referendum on him in year 4, that maybe that's more fair. But for me, if dude, 6-6 on this team is just
no.
Like I think you're having a different conversation. Like I think the people that are invested in Auburn and Hugh's success are having a different conversation if it's 6-6 or 5-7.
For sure. And I'm not in no way going to defend him against that.
No.
I think 7 is the absolute floor this year. And if you don't reach 7, it's unacceptable.
Yes, for sure.
Good stuff, Edward. We appreciate you calling in, big dog. Keep us going, Zach.
5799. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
It's Ricky from Birmingham.
Oh, Ricky.
Ricky.
How about you, Ricky?
I'm doing good. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Absolutely, Ricky. Happy Mother's Day, mamas.
I have 2 questions tonight, but to answer on that question y'all were talking about,
Yeah.
I think we can beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think the toss-up's going to be Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama.
Okay.
Texas A&M, Georgia, and who?
Alabama.
That's just my
Okay.
opinion. It's just my opinion.
Okay, so you've got Auburn at what?
Same record.
Okay, just mention switching some of the games out from tall stuff.
Yep.
Okay. What's your questions, Ricky?
We can beat Oklahoma, but really, if the team stay healthy, we can beat those 3 toss-up teams.
Sure.
If the team stay healthy,
Here's the thing, man. We just don't know what we're getting in Jackson Arnold. I'm just not there yet. I mean, he was turnover prone last year, and that's what was Auburn's biggest Achilles heel.
Yeah, and his was different, right? He didn't throw a ton of interceptions. His was fumbles. They were costly fumbles. And I think the other thing that gives me pause with Jackson Arnold, and here's the thing, and I would love to hear Jackson talk about this, but the ball got stuck in his hand far more often than it needed to, where he just couldn't pull the trigger on it for whatever the reason.
Spin it.
And I don't know if it was because of the issues that they had at receiver, where guys weren't on the same page. If it was the offensive line, which I know there were issues on the offensive line, was it scheme? Seth Luttrell is a really good offensive mind, but he's never coached quarterbacks. They put him in that position last year. So was he comfortable with who was coaching him at the quarterback position and telling him what he was seeing, where his drop was, everything else? There's just so many variables there that I don't know where to start. And so I can't tell you what Jackson is going to be just yet until I can lay eyes on it and say, okay, this kid's more confident. This is what I saw on his high school tape. And it's going to take that Baylor game or probably a couple thereafter for me to get a real feel for what's he going to be as a quarterback at Auburn.
Ricky, what you got tonight, buddy?
Somebody from On3 made a list of top 10 coaches who has most approved this year. Number 1, Billy Napier. Number 2, Hugh Freeze. Number 3, Lincoln Riley. Number 4, Brent Venables. Number 5, Luke Freckle. Number 6, Alan DeBoer. Number 7, Mike Novell. Number 8, Dabo Sweeney. And number 9, James Franklin. And number 10, Brian Kelly. I really don't get why Hugh Freeze kind of do, but on the off-season part, he done a great job since he arrived at Auburn. But I kind of get it because the on the field coaching, why he on the list. But I really think Brian Kelly should be number 2. Hugh Freeze should be number 10. That's my opinion. My second question is, 2 weeks before Easter, I heard that the Alabama High School Athletics Association created a task force, I guess, to crack down on the players who transfer different schools in the state.
No.
And I was hoping for Cole to answer this question, but he's not here. So I'm going to let Alan try to explain that, if you heard about it. I don't know if you heard it.
I have not, Ricky, but I would love to dig in on that, and just give me a call back next week and or the following week, whatever works out for you, but I will have an answer for you. I promise you. Now, I will tell you this, it's an issue. It is an issue with high schools recruiting other kids. It's an issue with kids moving into certain districts. It's just become unhealthy. And I think what the Alabama High School Association is trying to do is put a little bit of the student back into student athlete, where you're having some consistency for the kid and not having schools trying to poach other players. It's just, it's not a healthy environment at the high school level. I mean, I think we all know that it's going to happen in college at this point until they can put their arms around the transfer portal and do a better job of being able to police that. And I don't know what it's going to take to get there without the NCAA being given some level of antitrust to be able to police things and not get sued every time they try to put a rule or guideline on something because of it affecting earning ability. I just, I don't know what they're going to do, but high school, I think the state of Alabama can govern itself, and I would welcome any changes that they would try to make to shore that up some.
As far as the list of coaches who have something to prove, I kind of agree with on 3 there. I think Hugh Freeze hasn't proven anything on the field at Auburn. I think he's got a lot to prove.
I don't disagree with Jeffrey's take on that, but I also see where Ricky's coming from.
Yeah, I do too. I hear you.
Because Brian Kelly, heralded coach from Notre Dame, comes into LSU. They haven't been in a playoff yet. He's had all kinds of advantages there, including a Heisman Trophy quarterback. He's going into year 4, and LSU has invested a ton of money in NIL. And if he doesn't get return on investment this year, buddy, you thought that they got bad with Ed Orgeron down there and the shit show that was Les Miles.
But how you let your assistant coach make it to the national championship? You've been at LSU for about 3 years, and you haven't yet make to the national championship.
Now that's an interesting piece of pressure. So he's talking about Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame taking the team to the national championship that Brian Kelly couldn't. Now, Brian Kelly played for a couple of natties at Notre Dame. I think he played for – did he play in one for sure? And I know he was in a couple of playoffs.
Yeah, he's also Alabama.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, they got smoked by Alabama. That was terrible. But I think they were in a couple of different playoffs. But, no, you're right about Marcus Freeman in year 3 getting his team to the national championship and them looking – Ricky, the point you're getting at, and I did find this interesting, Notre Dame recruited athletes underneath Marcus Freeman that they weren't getting underneath Brian Kelly. And Brian Kelly kind of put that on Notre Dame, and Marcus Freeman hasn't made those same level of excuses. And the reason that Brian Kelly is at LSU is because he thought he couldn't win a national championship, and he's yet to get him into the playoffs. So I'm with you that is some interesting external pressure there to his situation that probably would be more talked about in national circles than it would be at the local level at LSU. LSU people care about LSU. And they don't really care about what Freeman's doing at Notre Dame, but they damn sure want to see him win. I think that they are sick and tired of 8-4, 9-3, whatever it is he's been pulling in over there, and they want to see him go double-digit wins for sure and make themselves into the playoff.
So is he on the hot seat on your take, or maybe next year?
The buyout's too high on him for him to be really on the hot seat for me. When I think about hot seat, I consider buyout. That's always a huge thing for me. Hugh is in a very different situation because he doesn't have a poison pill buyout. Like if you were to fire Hugh Freeze, you're just paying him out whatever the remainder is, but there's not like a $10 million that's due to him within 30 days like it was for Gus or it was for Harsin.
Yeah, Auburn University made their listen on the Gus contract situation a couple years ago.
Damn, you would have hoped they did. Because Jimmy Sexton took President Leaf to school on that one, man.
He owns like 71% of the shares in Auburn University.
Ooh, undefeated, man.
He is.
Jimmy Sexton 100% stuffed Auburn University in a locker on that Gus contract.
Well, hey, Ricky, call back. Give Alan a week to do some research on that high school because I'm very interested in hearing that. I hate it. I get it, but I also hate it. I hate it. I mean, and it's tough, dude. You got new jobs for parents. You got new houses for parents.
Had talked about it, and I just had to ask y'all, do y'all know anything about it?
No, but I do want to dig into it, Ricky, and I'd be interested in hearing some more of your thoughts. So definitely call back in next week, my man.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, appreciate you, Ricky. Good stuff, man. It's a good show. We had some really good callers. I wanted to give a big how about you to Shane and the boys in the pen. How about you boys?
Hell yes.
And lockup, baby. I love it. How about you, fellas? All right, we're going to be back. I think Cole's going to be back this coming week. Like I said, man, there's a big recruiting weekend going on next weekend, this coming up weekend, and basically every weekend from here until the end of June. So it's going to be a lot going on in recruiting over the next 7-8 weeks. commitment season is going to be coming in July and August, and then football, it'll roll us right into football season. So if you haven't already, get locked into Auburn Live on 3. Use that promo code FRIEND for 50% off an annual subscription. And don't forget, if you're in Auburn, Opelika, Lee County looking for some real estate help, give her a call, folks. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. And tell her we sent you. Go a long way. Go a long way with me. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mamas, hot mamas. Look at how.
Bro, I can't help it. You do it to me every time.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, ladies. We really appreciate you. I've already did you happy Mama's Day, your mama?
I have told Happy Mother's Day to my mother and to the mother of my child. Yes, 100%.
Me too. 2 for 2.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's going to do it, man. We're going to be back with the recruiting show. We're going to preview the big weekend ahead. We're going to do that either Tuesday night. I think Tuesday night right now. If not, it'll be Wednesday or Thursday. The show will be out Wednesday or Thursday. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get those notifications turned on, and you'll know instantly when those videos are ready for watch. That's going to do it tonight, folks. We appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching. For Alan Head, for Zach in the back, who stayed in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay in that left lane. See ya.